along with East Metro Youth Services that are here today and Jamaican Canadian Association. We have, Yorktown has 7 YOWs, and as you can imagine, YOW stands for Youth Outreach Worker Program. As you can imagine, about 90% of what an outreach worker does is out in the community, outreaching, but there's always a 10% that you need to hang your hat and collect your stats and do the important written and administrative part of the work. And we have our youth outreach workers housed at various locations at other agencies throughout the 2 priority neighborhoods of Weston, Mount Dennis, and Mount Olive, Silverstone, and Jamestown. One of our outreach workers is housed out of this youth space. I have the honor, the pleasure of introducing MPP for York South Weston, Laura Albanese, who is a longtime friend and supporter of Yorktown, always makes time to help us achieve our goals and attend our events and support us in every way she can. So please join me.
Thank you very much, Suzette, and welcome to York South Weston. I'm very excited to be here this morning and to welcome also my friend and colleague, the Minister of Children and Youth Services, Mr. Hoskins. York South Weston is a very active community, but it's also a community that has a lot of people that are in need of assistance. And one of these groups is our youth. We've been doing a lot of work since this summer. I have hosted together with the 2 local councillors, Councillor DiGiorgio and Councillor Nunziata, and the local MP, a youth forum at the end of August. And we also had as a keynote speaker my colleague MPP Michael Cotto, who came to speak about the Youth Action Plan and gave the keynote address. We had many local organizations that participated, but I was really heartened by the number of youth that came and that shared their ideas. This is part of an ongoing dialogue that we've created here in York South Weston. That forum was preceded by one organized by the Social Planning Toronto, and another one that followed by a local organization for youth initiative. It is an ongoing dialogue that we need to continue, and we need to listen to our youth and try to provide them with better opportunities for their future. And I know that our government is very focused on that. And youth outreach and engagement plays a key role in this. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Ontario's Minister of Children and Youth, my friend and colleague Eric Hoskins. And as you may know, Minister Hoskins has been working since the summer together with our other colleague, Madeleine Meilleur, who's the Minister of Community Services and Community
Safety and Correctional Services, always a mouthful, and to develop a plan that would give young people the support that they need, and that's the Youth Action Plan. And I can say that Minister Hoskins has always been very passionate about children, and he demonstrates that through colleagues and in the House, and I think to all of us, because we all know that he works hard by it. And
in his past, many of you know, he is the president of War Child Canada. He was a position that was very much focused on the need of children in war zones. He's traveled war-torn countries such as Sudan, Somalia, Eritrea, Afghanistan, Iraq, many of them are so I know that he's the right person in the right position. Eric, welcome to York South Weston, and we look forward to what you have to say this morning. Thank you so much.
you, Laura, for that. It was a very nice introduction, and good morning, everyone. You know, I'm particularly pleased to be here at Yorktown and to see all 7 of the youth outreach workers that work through Yorktown and do such important work every day in our communities, helping and providing support to and mentoring and working with the youth that often find themselves disadvantaged or at a crossroads, or simply kids that are on the right path that need a little bit of hope and encouragement and support to stay on the path where they can accomplish great things. And I'm also happy to see so many good friends here and colleagues, and it's nice to see that we've got all 3 of the Toronto-based organizations that are responsible for overseeing and managing our youth outreach workers are here, and Claire Fainer is here from East Metro Youth Services, having come across the city to join us for this announcement, and of course Michael Foster as well, who's the Executive Director of the Jamaican Canadian Association. It's wonderful to see you here as well, and it's nice. Well, it's more than nice. And Mahad Joseph as well, I should mention, from Medanta, who has an office here at Yorktown, and it was funny. Robin gave a quick sort of 2-minute tour around the premises, and it was great to you know, before I became Minister of Children and Youth Services, I was the Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. So organizations like COSTI I know so well, and know the incredible, valuable work that they do, and it's wonderful to have them here as part of this hub. And of course Unison, which is an organization that contributes so much in so many communities across this city. But you know, perhaps most of all, I should say that I'm pleased not just to be in this physical space, but to be here in the riding of York Southwest and to make this announcement today. And I would like to believe, I know it's true, that it's also fitting that I get to make an announcement about helping young people succeed in a riding that has such strong representation and a strong representative by the name of Laura Albanese. Because I know this from having been in government for the last 3 years side by side with Laura, that she works so hard. You mentioned a few of the things that you're involved in that are focused on the well-being and opportunity for youth. She works so hard on so many issues here in this riding as well as at Queen's Park, and she has so much dedication to ensure that all people, young and old, have the chance to lead healthy and prosperous lives. And that's really all we're talking about today, isn't it? It's about giving that opportunity, that hope and opportunity to all individuals in this great province so that they can prosper, they can contribute to their communities and feel valued by those communities. And I want to thank Yorktown Family Services and the Jane Street Hub for hosting us today. The work that you do to provide the people of Weston Mount Dennis and the surrounding neighborhoods with the supports they need is nothing short of phenomenal. You're a one-stop shop, you're an innovative model, a model for the province on how comprehensive services can be delivered in a targeted and accessible way. Now, as Laura was saying earlier this summer, in response to the tragic shootings that shook our communities and shocked our province, most notable being the awful, tragic circumstances, the shootings that occurred on Danzig Street in Scarborough. In response to that, Premier McGuinty asked me and my colleague Madeleine Meilleux, the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services, to create a youth action plan. He gave us 30 days to consult with the communities that would benefit from such a plan, and it was a plan that was guided, very importantly, a plan that was guided by the Roots of Youth Violence report, which was a report that was carried out several years prior by Roy McMurtry and Alvin Curley. And it's such an important report. It's become the foundation of the work of this government on this issue. And the youth action plan that we developed over that 30-day period is intended to address the root causes of violence in our communities and provide young people with the opportunity to make the right choices and have the right opportunities. So hundreds of Ontarians, a few of you in this room, in fact, took time to meet with us to share personal, sometimes heartbreaking stories. I have to say, as an aside, well, definitely the meetings and the discussions that I had with youth not just disadvantaged or youth that perhaps had come into conflict with the justice system, but those young persons were and are showing so much hope and promise and accomplishing great things, and our leaders in their communities today. Those were the individuals, I think, that were most impactful on me over that 30-day period. But the second most impactful individuals that I met, with no disrespect to the organizations, but within the youth outreach workers, and hearing from them, are frontline workers who often have lived experience which is beneficial and so important to their jobs, but reach out and mentor young people, provide them with the support and network with them, and connect them with the services that can assist them. Those conversations I had with the youth outreach workers were so instrumental in helping us as a government develop the Youth Action Plan that we released in August. We listened and learned from young people, from mothers who've lost sons, from people in the education sector, and from people who are helping disadvantaged youth every single day. And those voices, those stories, and those recommendations, I believe, are reflected in the government's Youth Action Plan, which, as I mentioned, we released in late August. Now, some of the immediate actions we are taking to give youth the support they need include expanding our highly successful summer jobs programs for disadvantaged youth to provide, and we heard this loud and clear, to provide part-time jobs for those same young persons during the school year. And we're also working with the private sector to create real opportunities for young people facing multiple barriers to success, and focusing on jobs, mentorship, entrepreneurship, and other community supports to help them get employment that will in turn help them succeed. We're introducing a new $5 million per year Youth Opportunities Fund that will support community programs that will have a real impact on the lives of young people. Many of you are familiar with the Youth Challenge Fund, and we've learned some great lessons from that fund, and obviously that will be instrumental as we work towards creating a successful sequel to the Youth Challenge Fund in the name of the Youth Opportunity Fund, the $5 million fund I was just talking about. We're also, and this is the reason for me being here today, we're also expanding and enhancing our youth outreach worker program. Sort of let it slip out in the hall, sort of what we're doing with the youth outreach workers, so they got a sneak preview of the announcement. You know, youth outreach workers, I mentioned already, they often share life experiences with the young people that they serve. They help them make positive choices, and they certainly steer them in the right direction. There are currently 62 youth outreach workers across the province providing outreach and referral services to disadvantaged youth in seven communities. But beginning this spring, 35 additional youth outreach workers will be working in communities across Ontario, providing one-on-one support to disadvantaged youth who are not yet connected with the right support services. There will be 20 new workers here in Toronto. There will be 9 new workers in Peel and York that currently have no workers, and each will get 4.5 full-time equivalents in Peel and York. And there will be a new worker in each of Durham, Ottawa, Thunder Bay, London, Windsor, and Hamilton. And altogether, this represents a new permanent investment of $2.8 million. I have so much admiration for the work that our youth outreach workers do day in and day out, and I know we're going to be hearing from one in just a minute. They provide incredible mentorship for vulnerable young people, for youth who face multiple barriers to success. And if we are to make our communities safer, we need to provide greater opportunity. And youth outreach workers help our kids embrace opportunity. And even though the 62 youth outreach workers, including the 7 that operate out of Yorktown, that are on the ground today and doing excellent work, we know there are communities that remain underserved. For example, I met yesterday afternoon with, well, and Mahad was part of this, I met yesterday with some representatives from our province's Somali community, including Mahad Yosef, who runs Medenta, an organization